What's up, guys? How y'all doing? All right. Man, it's been a while. Oh, someone had to cut down a tree in their yard. Brakes sound good. Okay, doesn't squeal too badly. Oh, jeez. I think I'll go out this way. Man, we had a Hurricane Nicholas, only a Category 1, but it brought a lot of wind, and I was out of power for almost 30 hours. So I wasn't riding the bike. A lot of wind damage, down trees, supposed down trees. A lot of debris in the streets. But it looks like they've been cleaning it up pretty good. So I was without power for like 30 hours. Man, what an inconvenience. What an inconvenience. I'm gonna take the road. I'm not gonna take the shortcut because everything's soggy and wet. It looks dry, but it's still wet out there. Oh, I got a green light. Pedal fast, I can make it. Oh no, I'm not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. It's all right. I'll make the next one. Just give me a flashing yellow light. All right. Okay, good. You know where I live, we got cameras that detect motions, and they regulate or monitor the street traffic. I guess it's a whole AI or traffic monitoring system. I don't know how I feel about that, but at least they're not giving tickets, they're just monitoring. From what I can tell, they're not giving tickets away, or they're not giving out tickets. They're not red light cameras. They're traffic monitoring cameras. They just monitor the traffic, and then the lights adjust to the traffic. So that's why when I pull up to that left turn, it was red, but then it turned flashing yellow red, or yellow, flashing yellow arrow, left turning arrow. So kind of nice. So it's not very sunny today. It's only been a few days after Hurricane Nicholas has come through here. It wasn't that bad. It was the inconvenience of no power. We had to stay one day at a hotel or Holiday Inn. My wife has a lot of points, hotel points or something like that, so we're using them. So she only paid like $20. You know, you gotta pay the fee and taxes, but only $20 for one night. It was worth it. The night the power went out, I was thinking to myself, aha, I have a generator, haha. Well, I haven't used that generator in like almost, I would say, 5 years, maybe even 7 years. So probably 5 years. You don't use your generator that often. I think I got it after Ike, and even though we had a few hurricanes or tropical depressions, I mean, Harvey was a flood. Harvey was just a tropical depression that flooded this area. My power never went out. So for about 5 years, that generator sat in the garage. I never exercised it. You know, you kind of get lazy. Anyways, so I had gas. Now, the younger me 5 years ago me didn't understand that gas can go bad. The current me, the older me, understands that gas can go bad. Alright, gas has gas, untreated, maybe has like a 6-month shelf life. If you put some stabilizers in there, it may have a year shelf life. So, gas doesn't, you can't really store gas. You can't really store gas for a long period of time. You either use it or it goes bad. So the younger me left gas in the tank of the generator, but I did turn the valve so it wouldn't get into the carburetor. Well, when I tried to use it the next morning, I'm thinking, aha, I have a generator. I'm smart. I was gonna just turn on the generator and power the fridge because my generator is not that big. My generator is not that big. All right, my generator is not that big. It's not gonna power the whole house. Normally, you would want to plug your generator into the electrical box, but I'm not set up for that. So, yeah, I'm not set up for my generator to be plugged into the electrical box, into the breaker box. And, you know, I'm not going to try, especially when I'm not prepared, right in the middle of a blackout, when the power is out. You don't want to try to set up all your stuff. So, anyways, I was just going to start the generator, plug an extension cable through the window, long enough to reach the refrigerator, so at least I can keep the food good. Because at the time, power went out about maybe 7, 8 o'clock at night. In the morning, still no power. So I'm pretty sure the refrigerator was not gonna just melt away and the food was gonna rot during that time. But I did realize that this could be prolonged. So I start the generator, or I take out the generator, and I'm like, okay, let's put gas in this thing. And I notice a cap, the cap for the gas tank, it's stuck. I'm like, what's going on? It should be real easy to open. I had to use like a tool, a wrench, a vice grip, or I forget what it's called. I had to use a tool to open it. I had to force it open. When I opened it, it was rusted out. The gas turned to sludge, basically varnish. It was half some kind of like gasoline liquid, and the bottom part was just like rusted sludge. Wow. So I tried to hack it, and I have another generator that doesn't work that my neighbor left me, but the gas tank is good on it. So I tried a jerry-rig generator hack. It didn't work. So I spent the morning all sweaty outside. And no, it didn't work. Did not work. So after I told my wife the situation, we just decided to, okay, let's get out of the house. Let's have breakfast. So it was mostly the residential areas that had no power. Matter of fact, there was very specific places. Like out here, when I looked at the Centerpoint power outage map, that was very useful, by the way. When I looked at the Centerpoint power outage map, all the residents down here, they still had power. It's just where I lived and on the west side had no power. Even the $1 million, $2 million homes didn't have any power. So it was just, it was certain areas, mostly residential. So it wasn't all blackout. It wasn't all, you know. Let's see how wet everything is, you know. Okay, it's dry here. You still see a lot of debris. Little sticks and leaves all over the place. So it was not everywhere. Mostly in the commercial areas, they still had power. So we went out, had breakfast at IHOP. We had to go down all the way to Sugarland IHOP. The one next to us was really busy. Looks like everybody just wanted to get something to eat, line out the door. So we got in the car. We used the car to charge our phones. My wireless Wi-Fi from T-Mobile, I have like 100 gigs. It was a special deal, 100 gigs a month. I have that NC Go-Go. Oh. It was like an NC Go-Go. Gotta pay attention here, jeez. It was like an NC Go-Go, and like T-Mobile, I forget what it's called, but I got 100 gigs. So I turned that on last night, it was working. So I knew that not everybody's power was out. The phones were working, it's just that our house was not working. The residential house was not working. So where am I gonna go? Oh, I got a lot of reds. I'm gonna go around this way. Gonna go around this way. So I did have internet access, so I was able to stay informed, which was very useful. The phones were working. I always have my battery, my portable battery bank topped off, always top it off. I use it and top it off at the same time. I have like 2 battery banks, personal battery banks that I use. I also use the Harbor Freight emergency battery starter, which is basically just a lead acid battery for the most part, but it does have a USB port and a DC outlet. I use that. I constantly have that plugged in and use that. That was very helpful because it did provide power for the first at least 20 hours. At least the first 20 hours. So that was very useful. It did topped off. It did keep my portable power bank topped off. So the kids had their iPad, their iPhones. My wife had her phone charged. We were using the wireless Wi-Fi from T-Mobile. My wife was still working, limited, but she was still working. I think she had to work off of her iPad. She has an iPad that she could access her office workstation, remote office workstation. So we were still all kind of functional. The only thing I was worried about was the fridge, and it did survive despite we had no power for 30 hours. We had to do, preserve and prepare for saving what food we have. So I do have a cooler, and the freezer always has, or I try to keep the freezer full of ice. So after about 12 hours, the ice was still good. The ice was still good in there, and that's probably what helped the freezer keep cool. But the refrigerator was probably cold, or not cold, probably getting warm at that point. So I took the ice out of the freezer, dumped it into the cooler, and we decided to put the milk, the lunch meat, the turkey, the sliced turkey, sliced ham, whatever, or whatever else that would most likely spoil in room temperature, and we put that into the cooler with the ice. That was my main concern. The refrigerator, I knew that anything in there that would spoil would not last. And what else did we do? Oh, we lost the ice cream. We lost the ice cream. We lost the ice cream. So by the time we pulled it out, it was already like almost liquid. And it didn't last too long in the warm. It was like 70, maybe 80 degrees inside the house. It wasn't, thank goodness it wasn't hot, and it didn't feel humid. I'm grateful for that. So we tried to eat the ice cream. Eventually, we ate the triple mango from Baskin Robbins. Even though that was liquid, it was still good. But all the vanilla ice cream, I don't know about the chocolate mint, that ended up getting thrown away. But everything else we kept in the freezer. Most of that is frozen. We're hoping that it would keep cold enough not to rot. And hopefully the power came back on, which it did in about 30 hours. And then it just refroze everything. So we didn't lose anything except the ice cream. We lost the ice cream. So yeah, that's the only thing we lost. So, but we did, after we went to IHOP, I asked my wife, do you have any more of those hotel points? Because maybe we could just get a hotel. There's no point in going back because I was always constantly checking the CenterPoint Energy power outage website, and it just got worse. The power outages got worse the next morning and throughout the day and into the night. It just got worse. The map just kept showing more and more people out of power. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna take the road. And so I just said, they're not gonna get our power on in time. I didn't think they would. And I was watching news reports because I still had an internet connection. We still had power to charge our phones. That it would be at least several days, so 1 or 2, maybe 3 days before they could get the majority of the power back on. And so just decided to go to a hotel. We went to a local hotel, stayed there one night. They had power, they had internet. They could take a shower. We couldn't take a shower, but the heater runs off of, even though the heater runs off of gas, it needs electricity to tell the heater to turn the gas on to warm up the water. I was making my beef jerky at the time, and even though the oven can work with gas, the stovetop, the oven itself needed the electricity to turn on the gas, because if it doesn't have electricity, the oven just turns off. So I lost 2 pounds of ground beef because I was making beef jerky at that time. I wasn't thinking at the time, but I should have made beef jerky a day earlier. Anyways, so yeah, stayed at the hotel, stayed one day. We took all the cars. We didn't want to leave the cars behind because my oldest still had to go to school the next day. We got an email, phone call from the school district. School will resume tomorrow. So we brought a car for her. So she went to school. I brought my truck, and my wife got her car, so we could just all be mobile, have our own cars. And we were going to go back and forth. So my wife went back home, cooked dinner, brought it back to the Holiday Inn, tried to eat the food. We tried to eat the food that was there. And I went back later that night and spent the night. And let me tell you, it wouldn't have been a good experience if we stayed home, because our neighbor to the left of us and the neighbor behind us, they both were using generators all night long, and no way, I could not get any sleep. So it was a good decision to get a hotel or stay at the Holiday Inn. Oh, anyways, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and consider joining membership. Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye. Whoa, that bush is in the way. Gonna have to trim that bush. Oh, this tree fell down. Oh no, oh man. What a shame. This tree fell down. It was even tied down too. Wow. Look at that. Oh, jeez. this tree fell down. Ooh, and it was tied down. It looked like it was tied down pretty good, and it still fell down. That's the first damage I've seen. Oh no, not the TVs. Let's check out the TVs. Let's check out the TVs. And the TVs are working. Okay, thank God, the TVs. Who cares about the tree? The TV is what's important, right? Oh, okay. End of the video. Bye-bye, everybody.